So did they successfully translate the horror game into a movie? Kind of. Let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Five Nights at Freddy's, which comes to Peacock and theaters on October 27, 2023. It is day and date with Peacock. Is that a good sign? Is that a bad sign? Well, you know, it could go either way. This is a movie adaptation of the beloved, I think, video game. It's a very popular video game. It's a franchise. Started off with Five Nights at Freddy's, and now they are going through all sorts of different ones. I think the next one is like Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. It is a phenomenon, and now it is coming to the big screen and also to streaming on Peacock. My hot take is, look, I think you should rent it. It has a really nice setting. It really recreates the Freddy Fazbear's pizza place really, really well. It has some nice effects with the animatronics, and it does enough to feel like the video game. But that being said, it also has a fairly ridiculous story and an unfulfilling ending. So look, it's got a lot of the elements of Five Nights at Freddy's that you're going to love, so you probably should check it out eventually. I don't think you should run out to see it in theaters, but hey, look, if you got Peacock, go ahead and stream it. It's fun, throw it on for a night, and if you like the franchise, you'll probably get something out of it. And oh, for kids, if you're wondering if this movie is okay for kids, it is rated PG-13. I think it's kind of a soft PG-13. It's like a really hard PG, soft PG-13. It's not really as scary or gory as I expected given its PG-13 rating, but it does have some creepy scenes. It does have some gore. Not a lot, but it is in there. It has some jump scares, but not a crazy amount. And honestly, the most kind of disturbing thing involved kids that disappear. But that being said, it is, you know, it's like a soft PG-13. You do that with that, what you will. If your kids have played the games and they're okay with some light horror, it should be fine. So I'm going to tell you a little about the movie, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending section. If you don't know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off then. Before that, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler-free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in Five Nights at Freddy's, you have Mike, who plays this like troubled security guard. He is looking for work anywhere he can, and he ends up becoming the kind of night watchman at this old abandoned pizza place, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And it starts off, you know, as you would expect, fairly boring, but things start to become strange after the first night, and eventually by the fifth night, it gets pretty crazy, as you'd expect. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I love the setting. This looks and feels like the setting for the game. It looks really like a great abandoned pizza place. It looks essentially like what you expect an 80s place that had fallen in disrepair. The setting is fantastic. It has a lot of little nice touches that make it feel like an abandoned old school pizza place. You've got arcade games, you've got old pizza boxes, you've got this like VHS training video that looks perfect. They do a really good job of this, and they really kind of transform this place into, you know, an approximation of the game. The second thing I love the robots. Look, you're coming to Five Nights at Freddy's to see the animatronic robots, and they look really good. I was worried that they would be like very CG. I was worried that they would look really, really ridiculous, but they look really good. They look like some sort of puppetry. I don't think it's much CG, if any, but they are kind of seamless in the world. They look and feel like the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. So I was very, very happy about that. And the third thing I love, it has a pretty fun cast. Like Josh Hutcherson does a pretty good job. I really love Piper Rubio as Abby, his sister who he's taking care of. She is a fun addition. I liked Elizabeth Lail as Vanessa, and it also had Matthew Lillard as this like career advisor, kind of like job hunter person who was really fun. Had a nice fun cameo. So overall, the cast is a lot of fun. And the last thing I love, look, it feels like the game. They do a lot of things to make this feel like a movie adaptation of the video game. Mike is a security guard. He's looking at the cameras. Things pop up on the cameras. I mean, you know, it takes place throughout the environment, but there are a lot of touches that make it feel like you are watching an approximation of the game, which I always love. If you're making a movie adaptation of a video game, they really should stick with the source material, and I think they do in some respects. So all that being said, things I didn't love as much. The first, there is a strange story aspect to Mike, like some backstory to him that keeps coming up that just felt unnecessary. I'm going to go into that in the spoiler section, but his backstory felt a little weird. Second thing I didn't love as much, just the story in general, it was not a very good story. It didn't really make much sense. I felt like it could have been streamlined a little bit. It felt like it could have been touched up. Look, I don't know. Maybe that story is accurate to the games. It felt like some things were. I look, full confession, I haven't played much of the games. I watched a lore video before. I played a little bit of one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games before going to the movie. So maybe all the weird story things are related to the games. Tell me in the comments if that is the case. But to me, the story had some ridiculous elements. And the last thing I didn't love, it's not really a great ending. It's okay. It's fine. It wraps it up. But this movie really had a really great setup, a really fun start, and then just kind of like fell off a cliff towards the end. So that is why I'm giving it a rental. That's why I think, if you have Peacock, if you want to stream it one night, that's fine. I wouldn't rush out to the theaters to go see it. So that is Five Nights at Freddy's. It comes to the theaters in Peacock on October 27th, 2023. Look, I'm going to go into the ending right now. So if you don't know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off because there will be spoilers. So in Five Nights at Freddy's, you have Mike, who is struggling to find work. He has a checkered backstory. He has a checkered past. He is watching out for his younger sister, Abby. They don't say what age he is. You think maybe like mid-20s. Abby is 11. He is watching her because of his kind of checkered past. Basically, when he was younger, his little brother Garrett was kidnapped from a campsite. His mom told him to watch his little brother. He like went to throw a frisbee, turn around, and his brother was kidnapped by someone. And he doesn't really know who, but he has been trying to remember ever since. He has this theory, this book that basically says like everything you observe, you remember. And so since then, he's been trying to like relive that dream over and over to try to capture some more details, try to figure out who took his brother. But losing his brother really affected him, obviously, and it seemed to have affected the whole family. His mom eventually died a few years ago, and his dad couldn't take it. It seems like maybe he up and left, maybe he committed suicide. You're not 100% sure, but the end result is Mike has to watch his little sister, Abby. So he needs a job. He needs to kind of keep a roof over their heads, needs to feed them. So he takes this job as a security guard. And this job was offered to him by this person, Steve Raglan, who's a career advisor, played by Matthew Lillard. It was a lot of fun. I love seeing his cameo. He played a really ridiculous character. And it was interesting. He looked at Mike's resume and like recognized the last name for some reason and ended up giving him this job. Mike is reluctant to take it at first, but eventually he's happy to take it. And he becomes the night watchman at this Freddy Fazbear's pizza parlor, this abandoned place. It seems to go okay until some strange things happen. Now, not a lot happens at the start. The second night, a local cop shows up to check on the place. And she seems to know a lot more about this than she's laying on. She knows the store. She kind of knows where things are. She has a very fond memory of this place. It seems like she knows a lot more about Freddy Fazbear's than she wants to let on. But she tries to help out Mike. She tries to help, guide him, give him some advice, make sure he succeeds at this place. And it seems like, though, a friendship is brewing. Now, unfortunately for Mike, he has an aunt who's trying to get custody of Abby. He thinks it's because she wants the check from the state every month. Kind of a weird motivation, but sure, whatever, I guess. But she really wants to get Abby. And to do that, she has to make sure that Mike loses his job. So she pays his babysitter to get some dirt on him. She doesn't find anything. So the next thing they do is she pays the babysitter and her boyfriend and some other people to go and trash Freddy Fazbear's after Mike watches it. They think like, if it's trash, he'll get fired. He won't have a job. Problem solved. So after Mike's shift that second night, these kids break in, trash the place, and unfortunately for them, they run into some animatronics that then end up killing them. Not in a super gory way, but there's a little bit of blood from a hand. There's a little bit of blood here and there. It's not crazy gory. A lot of it is implied, but everyone ends up dead. So the next day, when Mike has to go to his shift, he can't get in contact with his babysitter because remember, his babysitter was being paid by his aunt to spy on him. Now she's dead. He doesn't have anyone to watch Abby, so he takes Abby with him. They spend the night. It seems okay, although ever since Mike got into this place, he's had more and more vivid dreams about his brother, and they've seemed to change. Now his dreams are accompanied by 5 other children, and you're like, where are these children coming from? He tries to ask them more about the car. He tries to ask them more about like who took his brother, but they generally just run away from him. Now, this night, he has a similar dream, but while he is like deep in sleep doing this, Abby hears a voice from something. It seems like these kids are ghosts that inhabit Freddy Fazbear's establishment, and they can kind of manifest and do things occasionally. Sometimes you'll see the kids, sometimes you'll see the animatronics, but in this case, Abby hears a voice that calls to her. So she leaves her little sleeping tent that Mike set up for her and goes to check out what's going on. Mike wakes up to her screaming and he's like, oh my God, like what's happening? He runs out and he sees the animatronics like surrounding her and she's screaming. And then you see her smiling and you're like, she's like, oh, they were tickling me. We're playing. Meet my new friends. And she introduces him to the animatronic friends that are there. You've got the fox, you've got the bear, you've got the chicken, you've got the gray rabbit, and then you got the cupcake. They seem to really like her. She seems to be able to connect with the kids. And it seems like everything will be great. But Mike is a little bit concerned. He's worried about what's happening. He's worried about, these giant animatronic things playing with his sister. So after this, Mike looks through some of Abby's drawings. Abby's a prolific artist. She likes to draw a lot. And he notices that some of these drawings seem to have some disappeared kids. Some of the kids that he's seen in his dream are in Abby's drawings. He's like, how is that possible? Well, it seems like Abby also knows that these are ghosts. That seems like she knows that these children are like inhabiting these animatronic robots and she can communicate with them. But she also seems to know a lot more. She also has a drawing of Garrett's kidnapping. And it seems like the ghost kids told her about Garrett's kidnapping. She tried to ask them for information, but she said that the ghosts never talked about anything else. They only talk about this yellow rabbit that also appears in some of the pictures in Freddy Fazbear's. Now, after this, Mike goes and talks to Vanessa, basically like confronts her and says like, you know about these ghosts, you know about all this stuff. And she admits like, yes, she does know. But she doesn't reveal too much because they're at Freddy Fazbear's. Abby is playing with her new friends and they decide to build a fort. This is the fourth night. Remember, this is the fourth night at Freddy's. They build a fort. It seems like it's going to go terribly wrong, but everything is fine. They have a lovely fortnight. But at the end of the night, they're dancing. Abby's dancing. She strings the guitar of the like gray rabbit and it shocks her and it sends her flying. She wakes up a little bit later. She's okay, but this causes Mike to be worried. This causes Mike to like not want her to be here. This causes Mike to want to like protect her. So he calls his aunt to watch her and he ends up going to Freddy Fazbear's during the day. He does his little routine to get to sleep, to dream, and here he dreams and he's confronted by these ghost kids again. Now, they show him his dream with Garrett, like the whole sequence of him with his family, him with Garrett, and they say, look, you can have this dream every night. We can help you have this dream. You can be with Garrett. All you have to do is give us Abby. And you're thinking like, that doesn't seem to be a fair trade. Like, why would Mike ever agree to this? They're like, look, she's much happier with us. She enjoys us. We like her. We want to play. And Mike says, okay, for an instant. And then he realizes that's dumb. And he says, no, no, no. But by that time, everyone has disappeared. He is left alone in the forest. And he's looking around trying to get out. And that's when the dream kids like sprint by and slash him in various ways. He gets like slashed in the arm. He gets slashed in the back. He gets slashed in the leg. And unfortunately for him, it seems like when the dream kids do this, he gets hurt as well. And you never know if it's like the animatronics attacking him in his sleep or if these dream kids can like manifest his injuries in the physical world, I guess. I don't know, but he gets hurt by these dream kids. And then we see at his home where Abby and his aunt are, you see Freddy in his home somehow. Somehow Freddy got there and then seems to knock out his aunt and tell Abby to come with him. So Abby comes with her new friend. She sees the aunt knocked out and Freddy tells her that she's just asleep. Sure, okay, why not? They get in a taxi and they go back to Freddy Fazbear's. Now, after Mike got hurt, apparently he wakes up in a police outpost with Vanessa. I guess Vanessa found him, and took him to this outpost to get healed up. He confronts her and he says, look, I want to know what you know. You clearly know more. And she tells him about how Freddy Fazbear's shut down. Apparently, in the 80s, 5 kids went missing. They were at Freddy Fazbear's. They went missing, and the police searched that place up and down and never found them. But Vanessa knows where they are. They were in the animatronics. They were hidden there. Their bodies were there, and their, like, I guess, souls or ghosts also inhabit the animatronics. And she says that, look, they're just kids, but there is this bad person, this William Afton, who wants to influence them, who like forces them to do bad things. He's Vanessa's father. That's why she knows so much about this Freddy Fazbear's place. And he's also this yellow rabbit that we've only seen in pictures and like children's pictures before. He's this yellow rabbit that makes them do bad things. And then then she shows him a picture of her as a kid and her dad, William Afton, in his yellow rabbit outfit. He looks creepy, creepy, creepy. She looks like a kid. But Mike notices that she has the plane that Garrett was playing with when he was kidnapped. So the implication here is that William Afton kidnapped Garrett for some reason, and then opened this Freddy Fazbear's to kidnap more children, I guess. Sure, why not? Vanessa says that in order to stop these animatronics, you have to use electricity. Electricity stops them. Electricity, like, will slow them down. That's what you can do. But she can't help him. She, is worried that if she sees the yellow rabbit, if her father's there, she's not going to be able to help him. She's going to be a detriment. So she gives him a bunch of supplies, gives him a cop car, and says, go. Now, she tells him not to go through the front door. He needs to go through this outlet vent, which was silly, but also feels like something out of Five Nights at Freddy's. Crawling around an outlet vent, trying to get in there, avoiding the animatronics. He gets in there. He sees Abby playing with them. Chica goes and takes Abby to some back room, and Mike opens the grate, sneaks in, sees Freddy and the rabbit up on the stage singing. He pours some water in there, shocks the water, which shocks them, knocks them out, goes to pursue Abby. Chica is taking Abby to this baby animatronic, which from the lore video, it sounds like this baby thing is another evil creation by Afton. It doesn't get a ton of play. You see it and you find out about the spring locks because of it, but it doesn't get a lot of play. Chica is taking Abby to this baby. Mike gets in, shocks Chica, and gets Abby out before Abby is consumed by this baby animatronic. They make up, they try to get out, but as Mike is fleeing, the cupcake bites his leg, and he's fighting the cupcake. He tells Abby to run. Abby runs and hides, but she gets pursued by the fox. So Abby is hiding. Mike is trying to fight the cupcake. The fox is pursuing them. Eventually, the fox looks like it's about to get Abby, and then it gets shocked. And Abby gets lifted out of the ball pit. She's like, oh my gosh, But it's Vanessa. Vanessa came to help. Vanessa shocked the fox and is now helping Abby. Mike is able to get the cupcake off of him, shock the cupcake, and now everyone is reunited. But unfortunately for them, this is where the yellow rabbit comes out. And the yellow rabbit, William Afton, says that this is perfect. First I killed your brother, and then I kill you. This is symmetry, my friend. And then he says, wake up, my children. I have something for you to play with. The animatronics all kind of like wake up, get up, and William Afton in the rabbit suit has a knife. Now, Vanessa says, that's enough. Drop the knife. And then then William Afton takes off the mask and you see his face. And it is that career advisor, the person that got Mike this job. That's why he recognized the last name. He remembered I guess he remembered from Garrett. I guess he remembered Garrett's last name. And he recognized Mike's last name. That's why he gave him this job. The symmetry, I guess. Sure, why not? Now, Vanessa tells him to stop. Vanessa tells him to like not hurt these people. William approaches. He has a knife. Vanessa shoots him, but I guess the animatronic is strong enough. The bullet doesn't do anything other than make him angry, and he goes and like stabs Vanessa. Now, Mike tells Abby to show the animatronics what the rabbit is about, and so she draws a picture of a mean rabbit, because all the pictures on the wall in this Freddy Fazbear's are happy pictures of a happy rabbit with happy kids. She draws a picture of a mean rabbit who's being mean to the kids, puts it up on the wall. All the lights go onto it, and I guess this then shows the ghost children in the animatronics that the yellow rabbit is bad. Not that they already didn't know that, and not that they didn't just see the yellow rabbit stab his own daughter. This picture tells them that he's bad. So they all then, I guess, break the spell because of this picture, and they go and attack William. Now, I guess maybe because, Abby seems to be special. Abby seems to be able to communicate with them. Maybe that's why. Maybe they believe her more. Sure, why not? So they go and attack William, and they don't do a ton of damage to him. Basically, the cupcake goes and like bites his midsection in the suit, rips off a piece of the suit. Like, okay, that wasn't super effective. But then, I guess because the suit got ripped off, the spring locks in his suit clamp down, and they clamp down into him. They clamp down in his abdomen, and it seems like they slowly all engage because, a couple of them clamp down, and you keep hearing some stuff, and he kind of falls over. He's not doing too well, and the animatronics grab him, drag him into Freddy Fazbear as Mike, carrying injured Vanessa and Abby, all leave Freddy Fazbear. So, but before William kind of went down, all the spring locks were engaged. He was collapsing, but he says, "I always come back," and he puts the mask on. So I guess they're leaving it open for a Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Sure, why not? We'll see if this one does well. But after everyone escapes, after that horrible night, you see Abby playing with some of the kids. She seems to be adjusting well. Before, she was not super social with anyone in her school. Now she seems to be doing really well. She seems to be very happy. Mike also seems to be doing well. It seems like he is kind of taking over. They never address what happened to his aunt. I mean, she was trying to get custody. If she died, that wouldn't be good for his custody because she died in his house when she was trying to get custody of his sister. That would seem to be very suspicious. If she just got knocked out, I'm sure she still wouldn't be happy because she got knocked out in his house. They don't address it. I guess it all worked out. Sure, why not? Now, Mike picks up Abby from school. They drive home, or on their way home, they stop at the hospital to see Vanessa. She's still in a coma. She's still recovering, but Mike talks to her, asks her to get better. She did save his life. He's trying to help her out. We will see. She doesn't wake up or anything, but at least Mike is trying to take care of her. And we also see after dinner that Abby is sad about not seeing her friends. She wants to go see them. Mike understandably is like, no, we're not. But then he says, you never know what'll happen. So maybe they'll see the animatronic friends again. Now we fast forward to Freddy Fazbear's place. We see it's abandoned. We see it's empty. We see the blonde boy, who I think is in the Freddy animatronic, but he's the boy. He's not the animatronic at this point. He's the boy. He's watching through the door. He sees the yellow rabbit, William Afton, in there. It's suffering. It's still moving. It's clearly in pain. It reaches out to the boy, and the boy just closes the door. So that's it. That is the end. There is a stinger. In the stinger, we have the taxi cab driver who took Abby and Freddy to Freddy Fazbear's earlier. He's in his car. He gets a knock. He's trying to sleep. He wakes up. He's like, no, I'm not taking a fare. He looks over, and we see this little clown doll that kept scaring Mike randomly throughout the night. It is now in his front seat. He gets scared, and that's it. So there are also some sounds at the very end of the credits. You don't have to stay. The stinger is right at the start of the credits. Then you've got the actual credits themselves. At the very end, there's some sounds from Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's not super noticeable. I don't think you have to stick around for that. But that is Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I said, it's okay. It has a really great setup. It has a really great setting. A lot I liked about it at the start. But as it kind of went forward, as the story continued, it just kind of unraveled for me. So I think you should rent it. Look, if you've got Peacock, sure, stream it. Have a fun night. Stream it. Play the game. Have a Five Nights at Freddy's night. But otherwise, I would not see it in theaters. I would wait for it to come to rental or streaming or some other service. But that is Five Nights at Freddy's. It comes to theaters and Peacock on October 27, 2023. Oh, and also there is like I said, there's some elements from the game. There is a pixel art thing at the start that shows the kids getting kind of taken away one by one from the Freddy Fazbears. That was a nice little touch. There's a lot of little things that make it seem like they tried to at least incorporate a lot from the game. But look, I didn't play a lot of the games. Let me know if there's more. Let me know if there's stuff I missed. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff I missed. But thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.